2B is a character that excels in controlling space with a variety of tools and converting them into offense. Once on offense, she has multiple ways to mix you up or keep her turn. While she lacks dash normals and a good defense, if you're an offense-oriented player who likes a variety of tools at disposal or just looking for an easy waifu to pick up, 2B is the pick for you. So we're gonna do this guide a little differently. I'm gonna talk about strategy right away. Timestamps below, so let's get started. So the main thing that makes 2B is her 5M. Her 5M is this normal right here. This normal is absolutely insane. I think it's one of the best normals in the game for a few reasons. One, it goes really, really far. So it doesn't look like it goes that far because her sword's not that long, but she takes a giant step forward. And because of this giant step, you can basically almost around start, hit a button. And the second thing is you can whiff cancel this. So like, let's say they try to react, then you might hit them on the follow-up. And the third thing is it leads into this block string, and this is cancelable at any point, and you have tons of good cancel options. So this is kind of like the core of your gameplay, is just abusing this normal and how good it is, right? She has some other things, right? So if you're full screen, you have this grapple hook. This grapple hook's really good because it can go through fireballs, but also like even if they block it, you're +5, and so that means you get a mix up whatever you want. Jumping is also insanely strong with this character, so you have, not only do you have a double jump, but you have a float by pressing 5U. And so between mixing these up, you can get really good jump mix-ups, right? Or you can at least like approach safely. So for example, against a lot of characters, you'll try to anti-air them like this, or like if you're fast enough, you'll get an anti-air. But if they happen to double jump, and I do at the same timing, yeah, see I just get like whiff punish, right? And you see that says punish right there. So you have to be really careful about anti-airing 2B because she can full combo you if you time your anti-air wrong. A couple other decent tools she has. She has this special right here. It's her fireball, which doesn't seem that good. It looks kind of a little weak, but it's 22 frames, which means it's really, really hard to react to. And it gives you like a knockdown, or at least in the sense that you can dash up and 5M and then they have to guess, right? She also has a really far-reaching 5H, about the same distance as 5M's. But the main advantage 5H gives you over 5M is that it does way more damage. And you can also cancel this into some of her, you have better options to cancel this into, right? And let's say they happen to be like very roll heavy, because 5M loses to roll. And it's actually one of the key ways to beat 5M. You can 5H and blow them up for it, right? And that combo gets you like so much damage. She has a couple other neutral tools. For example, this, which is a homing fireball. You press it again to kind of release it. I'm not a big fan of that, but mostly those are the tools we use. So before we get into offense, I want to talk about combos because they'll make more sense in that context, right? So your most common hit is going to be after a 5M.
Pod 042 to operator.
Because the normal is really good. So 5MMH is kind of your bread and butter. Sometimes you're too far, maybe like here. Yeah, sometimes that'll whiff the H follow-up. So you have to do 5MMM just to be a little safe. But you don't get quite as much damage. Another really common situation is like you'll get this L auto combo, and this isn't a really good knockdown. So what I like to do is cancel this in the tackle. You get like a lot of extra damage, but you also get like a really decent knockdown situation. It pushes them really far to the corner, right? Now there's three, I say, more advanced combos you need to learn. If you have 50 meter, you should probably almost always spend it into this alt beam, right? And then you do this extension, and as you can see, that combo does quite a bit of damage, but the big thing is it takes them to the corner. It's pretty effective for the amount of resources you're spending. She also has a Raging Strike combo that's like not great, but sometimes you occasionally need to do it. It does pretty similar damage, but you do use up a BP, which I'm not a huge fan of, because our defense is pretty bad, so you want to save it for guard cancel. And now she has two corner combos. The main one you're going to be doing, this is the easy one, where you basically just do double tackle, and then you do double L M string, and then you just hold up and you get a safe jump, right? Super, super basic. If you want to be a little bit more optimal, you can go into this EX projectile, and then you can kind of basically do the same thing, right? But that does more damage, but the setup you get, it's a little worse, and it's harder. And also you need more meter, the skill gauge, which we haven't really talked about, but basically this comes into play more on offense. So the way the skill gauge works, your EX specials use 5 skill gauge, your alt skills use 4 skill gauge, and your regular specials use 3 skill gauge, except your 236L, which just doesn't use anything, right? You don't want to go too low on skill gauge because then that means you can't cancel into anything and threaten, right? So I try to always maintain around like mid-level skill gauge when I'm doing offense. And also, like, if you don't have any meter, then it's really hard to like convert it. Like, let's say I get here, I can't really convert into a combo. That's like all I get, right? So you have to be really careful to like not be completely empty on skill gauge. But okay, you land your combo. What do? So after most knockdowns, you can kind of just do a dash 5M. And if they get hit, you can repeat it. Yeah, so you do your combo and then you can just check them with a 5M. Now, when they block the 5M, you have a bunch of different options you can cycle through, right? I think your default option should either be this move right here, because it doesn't use any skill. It's only -4, which means that you can like cycle, like after they block this 236L, you can do, you know, parry backwards. You can just kind of like walk back and try to whiff punish something. There's a lot of different things you can do. Another one I think is really good is this EX Fireball. So it leaves you at +10. I mean, it depends on the distance. Sometimes it's less plus, but it's always going to be your turn, right? Which means that you can just kind of like do it again, and then you can do it again, right? So that's kind of cheap, right? It's a lot better in the corner, because let's say in the corner they are mashing, you can do this and then you get a full combo, right? Very similar combo to what we talked about before. But mid-screen, you don't really get anything. It's kind of hard to deter people from mashing mid-screen. Usually I'll try to do like something like this. Say like end my block string and then try to like whiff punish them or something like that. You do have a couple other options, right? So if you know for sure they're gonna mash, you can do M Fireball. And then this goes into a very similar combo that we looked at before. But this only works up close, so like really up close block strings. But I don't like how it leaves you so close, so I try not to do that too much. The other thing is, if you know they're gonna sit still, you can do a dash cancel. So basically all you do is hold 6U, and then you can go for a dash throw. A lot of people like to walk back, so you can clip them with a 2L and then go into your combo. This is really, really strong because it's really hard to react to, right? Basically the goal with 2B is to get them to sit still, and then when they sit still, start incorporating these dash cancels. And the really cool thing about dash cancel is that if you time it right against their guard cancel, you get a guaranteed punish. So basically when this happens, you just press 5U again, they take a bunch of damage, they lose a diamond, and you can just start check them again with another 5M. I'd say the next layer of offense is knowing what to do after you're in the corner. So let's just say you get this like basic combo, right? That we talked about. You have a few different options here. One I think is your safe jump, but let's say let's say you know they're gonna block. You can do stuff like stall 5M, very, very good. Or you can do empty jump low. And while this is technically reactable, it's a very, very, very tough reaction. Chances are your opponent's not going to be reacting to this, right? So you can just, once you have them conditioned not to like press anything or like DP or anything like that, you can start going for stuff like empty jump low, and then you can literally just keep looping the same sequence, right? So this would be like, once you get comfortable with 2B, I would like keep practicing this over and over, because offense is really strong in this game, and especially with 2B having a mix-up, like you can just really keep looping it and you'll destroy any new players as long as you have the execution down. All right, so so defense, I want to say just good luck. Her defense is not the best. You do have a parry, which this parry is okay. It's not active till like frame 5 or something, so you don't want to like just mash it. For example, if I mash after jump, I'm just gonna get counter hit, right? So it's not really something you mash out, but you can be really tactical about it, right? So there's certain moves that, for example, are like slightly plus. So for example, this move that 2B has is slightly plus. And so if they try to take their turn after this, you can parry, and then you get a guaranteed punish on some of their normals, right? But you have to be very tactical with how you use it, because if you just spam it, you're gonna get counter hit, right? And other than that, on defense, you do have a 6-range jab, which means that it's a little harder for you to mash out of throws. So you have to use a variety of different options to kind of take your turn back, right? Guard cancel is obviously the big one. Guard cancel is basically broken in this game. It's really, really strong. Once you do that, you can get out, check them with a 5M, or try to jump over them if it's counter hit. And obviously you can do stuff like delay mash, delay throw tech, sometimes just mash on them, right? There's a lot of different things you can do. I'd say the one unique thing to 2B is because her jump is so good, you can kind of double jump out of the corner if they try to catch you. Like, it's kind of like a mix up, right? So don't be afraid to like try jumping out occasionally. The other thing, you do have an alt DP, right? So this alt DP is pretty good. It hits really far, it does decent damage, and after you hit this, you can kind of like just jump over them and get this, you know, take your corner back. So, but the most important thing is on defense, you have to mix up your options, because if you're predictable, the opponent's just gonna like run over you. All right, so let's talk about the advanced strategies. And the number one question I get with 2B is, how can I land self-destruct, right? I know all you guys are fucking Coomers playing this character, and you want to land this move so you can stare at 2B's ass, or, you know, maybe I'll give you guys the benefit of the doubt and you just want to like distract your opponent. I get it, but this move it's terrible. It's complete garbage. But there's technically some situations that it's optimal. So let me explain. All right, so imagine this. You're pressuring Narmaya, and she does this to chip you out, right? What you can do, if you meet the criteria, you can self-destruct and punish her for doing this, right? Obviously only do it if it'll kill. But there's a lot of different moves like that you can punish after the super flash. So that's normally what I would save it for. It's just the situation comes up very rarely, but imagine that one time you hit it. All that practice will it'll pay off, especially in a tournament. Ooh, that's the dream right there. Hit self-destruct in a tournament and you actually get the dub with it. The other, if you guys want like a more gimmicky setup, I would recommend, you'll probably hit a lot of lower rank players with this. This is hard to execute. There's no like easy input for self-destruct. They're gatekeeping the lewdness. Pretty smart to like trick people into learning fighting games. But this setup right here, they'll tech into the self-destruct and they can dodge that on reaction, but if they don't know, or like they try to jump out, or they try the DP, or they try anything else. All right, so let's talk about some more advanced offense setups. So this step is kind of gimmicky, but I do like it, right? Because it's really unintuitive. So if you do this, throw this down and then do the hammer, you get a full combo if it hits, right? But even if they block, it becomes unblockable. So same setup, and then A, and then you just like A. So you get the idea. You get some pretty decent damage. Obviously, you like go in the super or something like that. The issue is they can block and then they can do a delay guard cancel and get out. But not a lot of people know that. It's a really good gimmick if you wanna use it. All right. So the other thing is you want to learn how to be a fuzzy mesh. So this is like high level, right? But let's say you're trying to do the high-low mix-up with 2B, and they're just mashing out of it, right? So what I'm doing is a delayed mash in order to catch in case they try to go for a cheeky mix-up, but you do have ways as 2B to beat this, right? They're just a little hard. So as long as you do your float like a little higher up, cancel the float, and do something like this, and if I try to press my jab, you'll get a punish. It is a little tricky to time, but at higher levels, you want to make sure you practice this in order to beat the fuzzy mesh. And the only other thing, there's a few moves we did not talk about. So this is her H fireball. I don't think this is that good. Basically, you get like a homing state on it. You can activate it again, and you're plus. I think more it's usually good to like scare them, and then you do this, and you can like keep going in. Some people like this move. I'm not a big fan just because it locks you out of meter gain for so long. All right, so like as long as I don't activate it, I get no meter, and I feel like with 2B you really need meter. But it is good for like kind of, you know, controlling your opponent a little bit, especially in like chip out situations. We didn't talk about this move. This move is mostly like for mix up. So if another way to beat fuzzy mash, you just do this, and then you can do your high-low mix up. The issue is they can just guard cancel this. So for example, you can only guard cancel the last hit, but you can do something like a double jump in order to beat the guard cancel. So there is some counterplay, but it is expensive at 50 meter. You can also do it full screen, and like, you know, sometimes like people will reaction spot dodge, and he could just like run up, or if they don't know how to deal with this, it's pretty good like neutral skip. The last thing, I did not talk about this. So this move is actually pretty good. It's decent in block strings. It leaves you plus, but they can react with a DP. It's pretty slow, right? So I don't like to do it too much. But it's really good for a throw bait. So like, let's say you do run up throw, and they start teching, and so you can do this run up like bomb thing. And the cool thing is, as long as you're point blank, you actually get a combo. And it's the same combo that we would do after a Raging Strike. But the other thing that you can do is you can just hover and JH, and it's around the same speed. I think it actually might be a little quicker. And it doesn't cost skill meter. So I normally like just doing this as opposed to this. But I don't know, sometimes I think this move is pretty decent. Also, you can guys just kind of, it has surprising range. Like you can throw it like here and you might like snipe someone. And it's pretty safe to throw out as like kind of like a jump bait. Oh, one other thing, obviously 2H, very good anti-air, and I'm not really sure like what to cancel this anti-air into, but usually I like doing this. This combo does like so much damage. Just something like that. If they do not get counter hit, this is kind of hard to do. I'm still getting used to this, but you can not cancel, or you can do like a delayed hammer cancel, and then you can dash M and get a combo. So this is like something I'm like still working on, but you see the idea here. So it makes our anti-air game quite good as well. All right, chat, any questions? What did I miss? Did we talk about baseball? Oh, we talked about it a little bit. I'm not a big fan, but I can mention it. Oh yeah, a couple other moves we didn't mention. So she has L cancels out of some of her auto combos. I don't think they're good. I'm gonna keep it real. Outside of combos, but it can kind of mix up people. But they like, there's a lot of moves that will just punish this. Same thing with the baseball. I don't think it's amazing, but after her H string, I think it's pretty good. And if they happen to get hit, you get a full combo, right? You can do like a dash M mid screen. It's a little tough. You have to like slice some micro dashes. Same thing in the corner. You can actually get something. You get the idea. You get a combo like that. So it is pretty good for that. All right, anyways, if you made it this far, probably found the video useful, like, share, subscribe. Check out some of my other videos on 2B and Granblue. If you're new to the game, they're probably gonna help you out just as much as this, if not more. Anyways, take care, y'all. Let me know what you think about 2B down in the comments, and peace.